let's get this turned on. Oh, God, Kathy, you won't believe what just happened. The Passat just came home on a tow truck again. Goddamn car snapped a half shaft. Left side half shaft. I'm driving along, all of a sudden, bang! Shifting, nothing. I was like, oh, I have a suspicion what this is. Opened the hood, looked on the left, there it is, hanging down, broken right at the transmission. And then the towing company they send is like in Parma Heights. And, you know, I'm over by John Marshall High School. When they told me Searles Towing, I was like, could you send anybody any farther? I'll tell you what, I don't know how that kid got from York Road to in front of John Marshall High School in about 28 minutes. He must have been flying. And you know, yesterday, the car wouldn't, remember I mentioned it wouldn't reach operating temperature? And they, you know, Ryan and his father thought it was the clutch fan constantly running. Today, I was working on the car. I had the doors open. I was like, okay, I'm going to charge the battery. I let the car run. It's idling in the driveway. And next thing I know, I see the temperature coming up. 160, 165, 170, 175, 180, 190. And it stays at 190. That's one thing that dead on 190. And I was like, I'm going to take it for a ride and turn the heater on and see what happens. Well, it went from 190 to like 180, 185. I was getting good heat. So I come home. I did a little wiring. And I was like, I'm going to take it for one more ride. I'm driving along and all of a sudden, bang! And it's going slower and slower. And shifting gears, I was like, oh, I know what that bang is. But I gained a new subscriber. The tow truck driver. He said, you got a YouTube channel? I said, yeah. He puts it in his phone. He points, he goes, is that you? It was last night's show. I said, yep, that's me. He says, I'll be watching. He says, I might even come in the chat. I said, well, anybody's welcome. Goddamn car. You know, there was a little noise in the front end. And you could see how quick I ran into the studio to get ready. There, now we look. And both Ryan and his dad thought that it might be a wheel bearing because it wasn't making a real loud noise. It was just an irritating thump, thump, thump. Well, it wasn't a wheel bearing. Good thing I wasn't out in the middle of nowhere, although I don't go far with it. I mean, I got fictitious license plates, because I took the license plates off the RAV4. Just in case, I wanted something with a sticker on it. Although I do have my WDWL TV Fox News plate on the front. It was running so good. Oh. I had good heat. The engine is finally smoothed out now with the 93 octane gas. There's no shudder in it anymore. It would flutter a little bit. Now you could put a glass of water on it, Damn car. Although I knew, I knew there were bugs in it. You can't let vehicles sit. So, well, let's shut this off. There, better. Yeah, with Allstate Motor Club, the towing services are on a rotation. Because I said to the girl, I says, you're going to send that Lyra towing that you sent the last time? She went, no, it's going to be Searles. I said, Searles? Out in York Road? I was like, oh, God, I'll be here all night. And then I get a text message, it says, Searles has arrived. I'm like, I look in the rearview mirror. Here's flashing lights, a tow truck sitting behind me. And then, you'll love this, Kathy. You'll love this. I never, ever leave the house without looking like a drug dealer. Where were my 2 cell phones sitting? On the console. Didn't have either goddamn phone. Had to hike home with my bum toe 2 blocks, and my toe was killing me, to get my cell phone and the shit box so that I could drive up and sit behind it. And then, you would think both vehicles were surrounded with crime scene tape. Everybody got to slow down and gawk and look. Oh, look. Oh, flashing lights. Oh. Hey, Rambo! Starting a little late tonight. The Passat broke down. I had to call a tow truck again. And see, you only get 4 free tows a year, or service calls, like AAA. Well, I only have 1 left. This was number 3. I just had that alternator done. But with the noise that it was making, it sounded like it was coming from the wheel bearing. Because Ryan took it for a ride. Then his dad took it for a ride, and they both come back and they said, it sounds like the wheel bearing's going. Not. Looked underneath it. There's the axle hanging down. I was like, damn it. Back in the day, I used to swap them axles out. I'm sure you'll have to dismantle 90% of the front end of the car. I hate to think what the labor bill's going to be on this job. I better put a little more fluid in the old Zippo. So I put both of the mounting bars on the front bumper, and then I mounted all of the lights. All I have to do tomorrow is run the wiring from the switches out to the lights. But there ain't no rush to get anything done now. Damn car. And it was just running so nice. Pardon me while I top off the gas tank here on the old Zippo. Looks full to me. Oh yeah, that's a flame. There's a little drop in there yet. And my HID lights won't be here till Monday. They were supposed to be here today. They didn't make it to my postal carrier in time. Although I did get I ordered a set of LED backup light bulbs. I'll tell you, these things are so bright, it's unbelievable. Compared to them, the old incandescent bulb. I tested them just before I come in the house because it's all dark outside. I just put it in reverse. I'd like, whoa! Now I can see when I back up. That is one thing I don't understand. Over the years, auto manufacturers have actually made backup lights smaller. Don't they want you to see what's behind you? And the Passat has got the old 1156s, the old style bulbs. So I happened to find LED old style. I wish the damn HID headlight kit would have come. But it don't make no difference now. It won't be lighting up the road for a while. I can almost imagine what the labor's going to be on this job. Oh, God. It's scaring me already. And you know, Kathy, all those rubberneckers, you think anybody would have stopped and said, "Do you need anything?" No. Just drive by and gawk. Like I told Nick when from the towing company, I said you would think that the car is wrapped in crime scene tape and there's a forensic unit dusting for prints. One guy actually stopped. 7 cars behind him blowing the horn. He's looking. Oh, look. As much as I hate to say it, I'm glad it let go now. Instead of like February when I would be legally driving it, break down in the middle of snow somewhere. But he was quick. Let me look at something here. He had to be screaming. All right, at 6:42. No. Yeah. 6:42. I get a message. They're on their way. At 7:07, he was at my car. That's screaming. That truck must have had a rocket engine in it. Broke a half shaft. Drive shaft broke. They call them half shafts because you got one on either side. Snapped the one on the left side right at the transmission. I opened the hood and I looked and it's hanging down. Broke right off. And when that happens, you ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I'm cruising along and all of a sudden, bang! I'm stepping on the pedal, shifting gears. Nothing. Oh, There he is. There's my tow truck driver. The man who saved me. He had an afterburner. He had a jet engine out of a F-14 fighter. Kicked in the afterburner, that truck took off. Then it landed right behind my broke down Passat. Give him a high five, Kathy, for doing such a wonderful job. And he came with a normal-sized tow truck, not like the last one, you know, that flatbed that could have towed a semi. Yeah, this is the group here, Nick. Ron, Kathy, Rudy will be maybe showing up. We get a lot of people behind the stage. Not too many pop in the chat. Yeah, I didn't even do any intro music. Gotta fire up the tablet. We'll do a late intro. Let me get the tablet fired up. Come on. Yeah, that'll take forever. Since Nick is here and he's new to the group, we'll do a formal intro. Once the tablet decides to boot up. Come on. It's only 66% battery. It's going to take a little bit. I got to find an amplified speaker for that other tablet. Because that Tough Pad, you know, the police tablets aren't made for listening to videos. Plus, I got to get the Tough Book mounted in the front of the Passat yet, too. Well, while it's broke down, I guess I'll get a lot of shit done now. That way I can have my police computer in there. I have to find my external Wi-Fi antenna, too. I wasn't ready for this breakdown, damn it. Come on, tablet, Jesus. The show will be over by the time you boot up. We'll be playing outro music instead of intro. Taking forever. Up. It's starting. It's starting. Let's do a formal intro. Broadcasting live from station WDWL TV, Studio 2A. It's the Grumpy Old Man, brought to you courtesy of, oh, I hate this, who wrote this shit? Grumpy Vulture Productions. And he won't be taking a bow. All right, a quick one. There, that's all you get. One little brr. Straighten your banner. Now we're all official. Official intro. Official grumpy vulture intro. Who wrote that? Did you write that? Courtesy of Grumpy Vulture Productions. Damn bird. So, Kathy, how's it feel to have wonderful eyes again? You didn't realize how bad your sight was, did you? I think, Kathy, I'm going to call the doctor Monday, and I'm going to tell him, hey, I walked 2.5 blocks home, and when I got home, I didn't need no inhaler. He's like, well, with your, COPD, 2.5 blocks. The only thing that was killing me when I got home was my toe. Because I had the wrong shoes on, too. I had my work around the house shoes. Had to run, get home, grab my 2 cell phones, jump in the shit box, and then, calling road service. They ask so many stupid questions. I told the girl, the half shaft broke. What's that? It's what moves the car. Oh, do you have a flat tire? No, I don't have a flat tire. I have a broken drive shaft. Is it dragging? No, it's not dragging. Where's the car? I said in the middle of the street, blocking traffic. Are you safe? Yes, I'm safe. What other stupid question did they ask? Oh. Do you want to take him to a repair shop? No, I want to take him home. Well, you're going to need to get it repaired. I know. I want it home first. I just spent a ton of money to put an alternator on it. I said, what do you think? I go out in the tree in the backyard and pick $50 bills? Well, you don't have to get upset. Then quit asking stupid questions. I'm surprised she didn't ask me what I was wearing. Oh, yeah, and from what I hear, AAA is worse. I said, I'm blocking a lane of traffic. Do you feel safe? Not unless somebody ass-ends me not paying attention. Yeah, I feel safe. I says, I got the whole area lit up like a crime scene. If anything, the lights will blind them. Although, Kathy, I turned on every set of lights to show Nick. That thing was lit up like a Christmas tree. Good old Temu.com. Emergency lights, siren. Yeah, if I was to go on like federal siren and signal, a siren today is like $1,200. I got my siren off of Temu, 35. Does the same thing. Wail, yelp, high, low, manual, air horn. That's all I use it for, the air horn. Although it has two tones. You can either go or e. I go back and forth. E-aw. Yeah, I got the CB mounted. I got the siren mounted. I got the lights on the front bumper mounted. All I got to do is wire them up. I guess I'll have a lot of time on my hands to be wiring things up now since it don't drive anymore. Yeah, Nick was shocked when he saw the speaker on the front bumper of the shit box. I said to him, siren. Every now and then if somebody irritates, like, I'll tell you, Kathy, when I actually hit the siren, I'll do a whoop. These idiot people that are behind you, that have to pass you to get in front of you to get to the traffic light. Like, you moved one car. You feel proud of yourself? You had to go around me just to get to the traffic light? Or when I'll be polite and somebody wants to pull out of a gas station driveway, and I'll wait and I'll let them out. And if they don't give me a little wave or a little beep beep, they get a whoop whoop. That gets their attention. They're like, holy shit, where'd that come from? Oh, people irritate the shit out of me. They'll be behind you, and I'll be doing the speed limit, and they drive around you only to get to the red light in front of you. Like, what did you gain? One car length? What I would like to do, although I would end up over the crosswalk, I'd like to go and pull around in front of them. And it'd be like, there, now what are you going to do? Everyone's in a big freaking hurry. Although I'm glad Nick was in a hurry. But I'll be driving along, and the car behind me will come around me, get in front of me, and then the light will turn red, and I'm like, what did you gain? You had to pass me to get to the traffic light? That's when I would just love to open that siren up. Whoop, 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 whoop. Leave it on for about 30 seconds and scare the shit out of them. They look in their mirror and go, holy Christ, that shitbox is an undercover car. God, Cleveland's getting weird. Or another one that will irritate me is somebody will be in the center lane, the light turns green, and then they decide, oh, I got to make a right turn. Like, that's what the turn lane is for. People are so lucky I'm not a cop. Oh, God, I would write my ticket book empty every day. Although I have already seen people cut off Cleveland police cars and they don't do shit. A couple of weeks ago, I saw a guy do the exact same thing. He's behind the police car, pulls around, gets in front of him. Like, they're just, oh, okay. Although, oh, I loved it about, oh, God, it's been about a month and a half ago. This guy, he does the old pass, and then he brake checked. Well, he happened to brake check a Cleveland undercover car. And as soon as he brake checked, that car lit up. I could see the guy going, oh, shit. I don't know why he brake checked him, but he brake checked him. And next thing you know, I laughed as I drove by. I hope he got a ticket. Oh, my Diggerino pizza was delicious. I chopped up onion. I threw more onion on it. I had half a green pepper. I sliced it real thin, threw the green pepper on it. Had a little extra mozzarella cheese left over from my Italian sausage. Threw that on it. 22 minutes. It was done to perfection. I like those DiGiorno self-rising. Oh, God, those pizzas are delicious. For frozen. I think, they were $1 cheaper than Red Baron. I have had the Red Baron self-rising. I don't think Red Baron is that good. I really don't. Red Baron actually tastes like frozen pizza. Now this DiGiorno, oh, it was delicious. And the crust was done to perfection. I ate the whole goddamn pizza. I made a pig out of myself. Although, a large DiGiorno is like a medium pizza shop pizza. Matter of fact, I have to check Marco's and see if they have any specials. Doesn't Red Baron taste like frozen pizza? They brag, oh, self-rising crust, just like a pizza shop. No. I've tried Red Baron, DiGiorno, There's another one. You have three big names of pizzas. I can't remember the third one. And DiGiorno is the only one that tastes like a pizza shop pizza. Yeah, like cardboard with ketchup on it. Although, DiGiorno could use a little more sauce. But, yeah, bruschetta. Out of the three, DiGiorno, if you cook it right, tastes like it came from a pizza shop. But you have to watch. They say 20 to 24 minutes. If you go like 27, the crust is like rock. Yeah, bruschetta. It's another one that tastes like frozen pizza. Now, what I do, I put it on the rack in the middle, center, and then like every 5 minutes I turn it because I've got that big pizza peel, that big fly swatter. And I'll spin it just a little because my oven on the right side, for some reason, is a little hotter than the left side. So I just keep turning it. And that way the crust gets, it was nice and golden. And it was done all the way through. Because sometimes you got to watch the middle, Not to mention I added all that shit on top of it, but it turned out, perfect. Perfect. Like I say, I ate the whole goddamn thing. I made a pig out of myself. Tonight will be hot dogs with relish and onions and chili sauce and spicy mustard. Now see what I do. I'll boil the hot dogs and then I take them out and everybody goes like, "Oh, you're weird." I split them. I open them up and then I put them under the broiler and I watch. And when they just start to bubble up, that's when I take them out and load them with relish and onions and spicy mustard and chili sauce. That way they kind of taste like they came off a barbecue. And splitting them open, you can put more shit on them. Every now and then, if I have some shredded cheese, I'll put the shredded cheese on top and then stick them under the broiler again. Let the cheese melt. I make a real gourmet dog. I guess tomorrow I'll have to go on eBay and see how much I get a half shaft for. I'll have to get my Chilton's manual out of the back seat of the Passat and see what's involved in changing it. Back in the day, when I had my Eldorado, I could change them things out in about 20 minutes. I don't think I'd get that lucky with the too much shit on that car. And I don't have a puller because you got to use like a dent puller to pop that axle shaft out of the transmission. I'm hoping not. I hope I can get away with just putting one on the left. You should. Because that way they're equalized. You know, like when you change a headlight bulb, they tell you to change them both. Because you'll put the new one in and it'll be a little brighter and then this one burns out. Whenever you change bulbs, always change both sides. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Because I really don't want to do both sides. But see, part of the problem is the left side will be stronger. I'll have to see what's involved. If I think I can do it in the driveway, I'll order both sides. But if I have to take it up to Ryan, we're only doing the broken one. I can see when I take it up there, he'll be like, oh boy, the Passat's here again. Cha-ching. Although I think when I'm ready to get it fixed, I'll have Carlos tow it up there and drop it. I'll see how much he'll charge me to just drop it in the yard. And then they'll have a bitch of a time pushing that son of a bitch because that's a heavy car. It don't look that heavy, but boy, that car is a bitch to push. That's why I didn't even chance trying to push it around the corner. Let it sit there. I'm just glad I didn't chance driving that out to my doctor's. Oh, God, had that thing broken down in Parma, oh, I'd have been screwed. They'd have been towing that thing to the impound yard. And then some of these rates at these towing companies for storage, holy shit. I was reading a sign. You know, they have these private towaway signs like at Circle K and whatever gas stations are down there around you. Private property towing. It was like $185 for the tow. and $100 a day for storage. Who the hell? Now I see why these towing company yards are full of cars. Because people come in and say, well, here's the title. I can't afford to. Let me get my shit out of it. And then, listening every now and then to oh Christ, I forgot the goddamn judge. The one in Michigan, the old one that with the ponytail, what's his name? I can't think. I went blank. He'll have somebody that got arrested for driving, with a suspended license, and he'll ask them, "Did your car get towed?" Then, yeah. It's like $350 for the toll and $125 a day storage. He goes, well, you lost your car, huh? Yeah. That's highway robbery, man. I can't think of the judge. I watch him all the time. I'm blank. I can say St. Joe County, Michigan. He's got a ponytail. He knows everybody in the county, their parents, their grandparents, their great grandparents. His court is like Andy of Mayberry. Oh, how could I? Judge Middleton, yeah. I must have dementia. Yeah, watching his court is like watching Andy of Mayberry. I used to cut the lawn for your great grandfather when I was a kid, Another person will get up and go, oh, I knew your uncle. I used to pump gas at your uncle's gas station. Then one guy got up one day and he was like, oh, aren't you my cousin? And the guy was like, yeah. He had an eviction hearing once, and the guy getting evicted was his cousin. And he said to the landlord, he goes, I'll recuse myself if you want. And the landlord was like, you're going to be fair. Don't worry about it. He knows everyone in that county. And like I say, he knows them, their parents, their grandparents, their great grandparents. That car's starting to remind me of that movie with Goldie Hawn and I can't think of who her husband was when they bought the house, the money pit. I knew there was going to be some money needed to be spent on this car. I didn't think the car was going to turn into Fort Knox. God, I hope there ain't nothing else wrong with it after I take care of this. Jesus. Car's enough to drive me crazy. That Corvette is starting to scare me more and more. I might have to walk away from that one. As much as I want that car. Although, like I told them, I said, I'm going to get a battery for it. If it starts, then we'll think. If it don't start, I'm walking away from it. Although I hope it starts. I hope the clutch is all right. I hope the transmission's all right. Right now, $400. That's the highest price a junkyard is offered for it. Although it's like a 1980. It ain't no brand new one, and it looks sad. Paint peeling all over it. 4 flat tires. Kind of an insult to a Corvette. I'm just hoping that if it starts and it goes into gear with no problem, that the tires will hold air long enough to get it home. Because then over the winter, I'm going to have to slowly look for some used tires. Because I ain't putting no brand new tires on that car. Christ, goddamn tires are like $600 a piece. Ultra high speed VR rated for 170 miles an hour. Lucky that car would be doing 17 miles an hour. People be passing me. Well, if you want to pay to have it towed out to your house, Ron, I'll tell him he's got an offer of 401. Costs you more to tow it to your house than the vehicle be worth. Like I say, it's sad. There isn't one bit of clear coat left on that paint. As a matter of fact, a couple of spots the paint is right down to the gray primer on the fiberglass. So we ain't talking no cherry. That's what I told them too. I said, this car's sad. Extremely sad. And it's just a plain Jane basic engine, and it's not the Z, it's not the ZR1, it's just a entry level Corvette. The only reason I like it is because it's got a 6-speed and a convertible. That way the old man in the summer can have the little cuties wave at me. Can I ride in your Corvette? If you trust it, I don't know if it's going to go around the block. I shouldn't even be thinking about that thing. It is sad. Oh. Like I say, there's no clear coat left on the paint at all. Peeled all off. Been sitting so long, probably has a rat family living in it. Really, when it come down to it, even if it runs and drives, I don't know if I would trust it. There's got to be something wrong with it. People don't bring a Corvette and dump it in their driveway and just leave it sit for 6 years. Although Jim was strange like that, I have the suspicion that he bought it to repaint it and flip it. But Jim was the type he would buy a project and then just ignore it. Like with the Passat, when the sunroof stuck open and the rear window on the rear door stuck open, he was like, screw it, I'll buy something else. And just parked it in his backyard and let it sit. Then some dumbass like me buys it. God, I remember, I had, back in the day, in the 70s, I was flipping cars left and right. And Earl Scheib, $29.95, or Diamond Gloss for $39.95. I'd get a car running, take it up to Earl Scheib, put a coat of paint on it, turn around and triple my money. It's hard to believe back in 1970 you could get a car painted for $30. Although, if you didn't mind a little overspray on the tires or on the glass where they didn't mask it the right, paint a whole car for $30. He must have been buying paint by train car loads. Back that tanker up. Well, we got 7,000 gallons of orange. That's the only way he could do it. He had to be buying paint by tanker cars. Although you got to remember, back in 1970, $30 was a lot of money. $30 would buy me a month's worth of groceries. Spend $30 to paint a car. Yeah, I'd buy a $50 junker, fix it up, get it running, take it up to Earl Scheib, get a $29.95 paint job done on it, and triple my money. What do you mean $150 for that car? Yeah, but look at it. Oh, it doesn't look nice. How come it's orange? Well, that was Earl Scheib's paint special of the month. Well, I wouldn't give up on the house that fast, Ron. That's like the other day coming out of Mark's. This woman was coming in, and I said, do you know the older I get, the stronger I get? She said, really? I said, yeah. I said, back in 1970, I couldn't carry $60 worth of groceries in one hand. And it took a while to set in. And she was like, oh, you're right. Yeah, I had $60 worth of shit, like 5 bags. I was carrying it in one hand. Right back in 1970, $60. Whoa, you were living good for a month. You were eating filet mignons and baked potatoes, sour cream. God, I remember my next door neighbor. I don't know what packing house he dealt with. I would get a loin, and I would get 15 steaks out of a loin, and it was like $15. It sounds like a nice house. 2-car garage to go with it. Although I've noticed a lot of areas in Arizona, they're like Florida. They have carports. They don't put their cars in garages. Yeah, as a matter of fact, where my uncle lived in Clearwater, nobody had a garage. Everybody had a carport. I was like, what the hell good is a carport? I want my car surrounded by 4 walls and a roof. Carport. Storm comes through. Carport laying on the roof of the car. Oops. Palm trees all over it. Him and my aunt had a double wide trailer, which I would have loved to have bought after he passed away, and my aunt is living with my cousin. That double wide had a cathedral ceiling. It was gorgeous. Although the lot rent was outrageous. Yeah, how many cars bought the farm with trees falling on them? Yeah, I think my uncle said the lot rent was like $600 a month. I was like, Jesus, what's that double wide sitting on? Gold? God, by the time you get done paying lot rent and utilities, and you ain't got no money left. That's it for the coffee. You mean they haven't cleaned that place up yet? God, what's taking them so long? Don't they have a chipper? God, they should have come in with a crew of tree trimmers and a big chipper. Make a big truck full of sawdust. Mulch. Evidently, the property owner didn't have good insurance. Yeah, but by now, they should have had the small stuff cleared up. Like you say, come in with a crew of guys and a big chipper and yeah, I like when the city trims trees in the neighborhood. They come in with that big chipper. Big giant tree limb reduced to mulch in seconds. Well, it sounds more like the city evidently isn't paying a lot. So a lot of tree trimming companies are bidding on city contracts. Because I know in Cleveland, it takes like 120 days for a company to get paid. So they don't even bother bidding. God, we had a big tree limb fall down the street, and the neighbors came out with their own chainsaws. Because the city couldn't respond. So in order to open the street up, any neighbor with a chainsaw came out, made quick work of that tree. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I look, there's like 6 neighbors out there. Then the next day, the wood was neatly stacked on the tree lawn, and it took the city a month to pick it up. But the tree fell right across the whole street. And it was a, well, in this neighborhood, it was kind of a major thoroughfare, so they had to get the damn tree out of there. Because the police had the street blocked off. They're sitting there. Finally, one of the neighbors said, "What if we come out with our own chainsaws?" And the cops were like, "Anything to get this street open." And then, talk about city unions. They'll come out and they'll start trimming the trees in the neighborhood. They work for 15 minutes and then they get a 15-minute break. Then they work for 15 minutes and then they get a 15-minute break. I was like, God, no wonder it takes a week to get one street done. Yeah, I hear the saws out there, and then everything went quiet. I looked out in the street, and they're sitting there drinking their soft drinks. So I walked down and I said, "Lunch ready?" "Oh, no, we're on our break." I said, "You only work for 15 minutes." "Well, yeah, it's in our contract. Work for 15, 15-minute break. Work for 15, 15-minute break." I was like, holy shit, and you're on the clock? Yeah, it's in their union contract. I said, must be nice. Guy's halfway through cutting a limb. Break time. Whoop, put that saw down. Okay, 15 minutes up. Break time. Oh, okay, put the saw down. Because the supervisor come out and I asked him, I said, "Are those guys bullshitting me?" He said, "About what?" I said, "Well, they said they work for 15 minutes and then they get a break. 15 minutes. Then they work for 15. He said, "Oh, yeah, it's in the contract." And boy, they watch. 55 seconds, 56, 57, 58, 59. Put that saw down. And people wonder why I don't like unions. Matter of fact, I gotta find out if my sister's back online. She got hurt on the job. Oh my God. Ford went bonkers. "What do you mean you're gonna file workman's comp?" "Well, then in order to get your workman's comp, you have to do a light-duty job. If you don't do the light-duty job, they fight the workman's comp. Any other place, you get hurt on the job, okay, you're off for 3 weeks. See you in 3 weeks. Not at Ford. Yeah, they have swivel chairs on the assembly line. They slide over, get the part, then they slide back and they put the part on, then they swivel it. Well, she came into work and the swivel chair broke. She sat down right on the ground. Hurt her back, hurt her elbow, hurt her shoulder. She goes, oh, I guess I'll file for workman's comp. And Ford was like, what? You think you're taking time off? No. You have to do a light duty job. I'll have to call her tomorrow. See if she's back on the line yet. Because when you're doing light duty, you can't get overtime either. And she was sucking up all the overtime she could get her hands on. Overtime 401k. Overtime 401k. Not bad for a female that didn't know a pair of pliers from a screwdriver. She's building engines. Although she had worked her way up, she was doing the engines on the test stand. That engine's done, okay, put it on the stand. Okay, it's good. Next. Yeah, I couldn't believe it when she told me, I'm working on the assembly line at Ford. I said, what? I said, you don't know which end of the screwdriver to use. Oh, I'm building engines. I was like, oh. Not bad for my little baby sister. Well, since I had such a shitty day, I think I'll go have a feast for dinner. Oh, come on. How come I can't? Oh. That's what I forgot to do. I'll have to do it tomorrow. Get my music in alphabetical order again. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me late. I didn't do it on purpose. The car jinxed me. But now since I don't have a Passat to drive, we will meet again tomorrow night. Usual time. And with that, everybody, Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And we'll see you tomorrow. See ya.